Hello, my beautiful friends on social media, on YouTube, wherever you're watching this. It is the heaviness is lifted. We're coming into this beautiful super moon in Aquarius, super new moon. And it's just all about becoming one with your creative nature. And yes, I'm drinking coffee in the evening because that's what I do. But it was funny because the last few weeks have felt very heavy. There's been a lot of chaos going on. And I know we say that all the time in these communities, but the last few weeks have been like a lot of darkness has been coming to surface. A lot of our deepest fears have been coming to surface for us to face and pointing us where we need to go and dig deeper within. And that's what this whole journey is about. It's understanding, knowing when we need to listen to these things, whether it's that nasty voice in our head that we need to redirect and say no, but why is this coming up? Where are these words coming from? What part of me do I need to look into to allow this energy to release? Because that's all it is trapped energy. It's a trapped or confused belief system that you've picked up along the way, whether what somebody else taught you, how somebody else treated you, a traumatic experience in your past. It can be anything like that. And when you truly dig into it and love yourself, that version of yourself that went through whatever it was, and ask it to go, then you can really start to see things from a different perspective. Give yourself that unconditional love. Give yourself that acceptance that you yearned for at that point in your life, whether it was when you were a child, when you were a teen, when you were a young adult, or last year or last week. We still go backwards. I've had some circumstances lately that have made me feel like I did when I was younger, and it's like, why am I feeling this way? It's those self-limiting beliefs coming up and coming to head, and it's like, no, this isn't me. I am a different version of that human that I was even 3 days ago. I am expanding. I am more understanding. I am more unconditionally loving. I am more knowing of my path. I am aligned with it, whether in the moment it feels like it or not. So just understand and know that that unconditional love, that acceptance of who you are in every moment is the key. That deep self-compassion. If you need to learn about self-compassion, Brene Brown is really great. I think it's Dr. Kristen Neff, has a really great YouTube program on it. They've studied this self-compassion, this self-love, and how important it is to stop demeaning ourselves and cutting ourselves down. Just because something may seem quote unquote hard, maybe somewhere along the way you were taught that you didn't have to try, and I'm not saying you have to force or work super hard, but we need to learn that it's okay to struggle and it's okay to fall down, because these are just lessons in our life. And the more we become resilient from these things, and I don't want to create a resilience self-limiting belief, but the more we see that it's okay, as long as we love us and we know, and the way we perceive and accept these experiences, we can expand our knowledge and our consciousness. Like, do you think as a baby, before you had this consciousness, that you got up and just walked perfectly the first time? You said your first words the first time. You could even hold a spoon. No, but in that point of your life, you didn't have that little voice in your head that said, you're a failure, you're not good enough. No, a baby just knows, I got to keep doing this because this is what's fun. This is how my parents are doing things. And what happens is when we become more conscious, a little bit older, we are still doing things how our parents are teaching us, and they may have ingrained not positive beliefs in ourselves, which is no fault of their own. They're dealing through their own stuff in those moments. I know myself as a parent, I did things and said things when I was a younger parent that I'm like, man, why did I do that? That being said, we can shift these perspectives. We can shift the belief that that's gone on. We can reprogram ourselves and those around us. And as we shift, they shift. So give yourself that love, give yourself that compassion, give yourself that pat on the back you deserve. It's not egotistical. How do you help anybody if you're not helping yourself first? You can't. I'm sure you've all heard that saying, we cannot fill from an empty cup. We can't. I could not drink my iced coffee if there is nothing in the cup, and then there'd be nothing to enjoy. We have to give ourselves that time. And I'll tell you this, I was so lost in the moments of my life when I didn't have a passion or a purpose or like a creative outlet. When I've always played music, but maybe I didn't do it enough for many years. When I started putting more effort towards my music and more intention, it opened up a new side of self-love for me, because I felt you're at one with your soul when you're following that. And I'm not saying music is your path. It's whatever creative outlet calls you. It could be baking. It could be doing math, deriving equations. It could be very left brain. It could be very right brained. It could be very balanced. It could be studying psychology. Just something that makes your soul sing, that you're excited to do. And it just makes you feel light and airy. So just remember that, know who you are, know how amazing you are, and continue on this path, because you are awesome and you're doing a great job. And if this message has found you, it is a reminder to be easier on yourself. Check yourself when you're saying negative things or you have negative dialogue in your head towards yourself or anybody else. Check yourself when there's judgment going on of yourself or anybody else, and forgive yourself and move forward. Go, man, I'm perfect, whole and complete in every step of my journey. I may have fallen down a few times. I may have made mistakes, and I use ditto fingers because it's all perception. I've made so many mistakes in my life, quote unquote, but you know what? I've always looked at them as stepping stones. You can't learn if you keep going back to that same shit. You gotta evolve and look back and go, man, I wouldn't be who I am today without that. I love you. I gotta go haul my gear in and go play some music. Have an amazing evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And I love you. Have a good one. Bye.